Thank you for staying with us on Into the Wild. We are joined now by Claudia Landis. She is one of our WCBD Plus digital streaming producers. Works in this room a lot, does a lot of cool things, and she's here to tell us more about what she's working on right now.
Yeah, I actually had the opportunity to leave this room and go out in the field, literally, and talk to two farmers on Johns Island and a nursery owner in West Ashley. And so this is for a special that's going to be airing right after this on our WCBD Plus app. So I'm really excited for everyone to see it because it's different from some of the content that we've created before.
Yeah, so cool. How did it come about? How did you start this process?
Yeah, so this actually was kind of a creative journey for me. I am kind of surprised how it turned out because it wasn't how I intended it to turn out, but I think it is turning out with way more depth than I originally intended, which I think is exciting, and I'm excited for people to hear the stories of some of the farmers and plant experts that I got to talk to. So I originally was just going to write a web article about transitioning gardens over from the summertime to the fall time, and then Tim, he's on our team, he was like, hey, I want to see content outside of this room. I feel like we see a lot of podcast content, and he was like, I kind of see things outside, just to make the content look different. And I was like, well, I'm writing this web article. Maybe I can go out and talk to a farmer. So I reached out to a couple. A couple said yes, and I was like, well, I wonder if I just talk to 3 different people and kind of make it different. And so the central theme throughout the whole thing is tending to produce crops, plants in the low country from the summer to the fall. But each story has their own twist to it. So it's that's kind of how it evolved, and it just kept evolving and kept evolving. And so that's what it is today. And there's just a lot of different things about it. So it goes beyond just transitioning from summer to fall. It goes to talking about their history, their heritage, their expertise, and just their stories and just the incredible things that they do.
And Claudia, can you tell us a little bit about each of them? I know you spoke to 3 of them.
Yeah, I would love to. So the first person that I talked to was Side-Eye Limehouse. He is on Johns Island. He's a farmer there, and he is at the Rosebank Farms on Johns Island at the Kiowa River property. And if you ever have the chance to go out there, it's very beautiful. And so Side-Eye's story, he's 86 years old, so he knows a thing or two about tending to the land here in the Low Country, and he's really seen it evolve from the time he was little, because his dad purchased the land in 1938, but his family felt a lot of pressure from developers and buyers throughout the years, and so he really doesn't own much of the land now, but he still is around tending to the land, offering his advice, and he's kind of a legend around the area. I'm not gonna lie, when I ran into people, they were like, oh, not a lot of people get to ride in the truck with Side-Eye and hear his story. And so it really felt like an honor and a privilege to really hear from him. But, throughout the years and him seeing that land for so long and seeing it evolve, he's felt a lot of pressure from development on Johns Island, and some of the pressures that, farmers feel when trying to, farm on that land, because he basically says, there's really not any farmland left. I mean, a lot of the area on the Kiowa River property, he calls it an agri-hood. So it's like you go into a farm, but then it gets to this really nice developed area. And so it's very different from, the duck ponds and the cow pastures and the soybean fields that he grew up in. So it's really interesting, and I really enjoyed hearing from him and just getting that raw depth of just realness to, development and how it's affected him. But also he goes in and he talks about fall transitions and what they're doing over there at the Rosebank Farm and what they're growing. And then I stayed on Johns Island, and I went to go talk to Joseph Fields and his grandson CJ at the Joseph Fields family farm. And Joseph Fields, their family farm has been in their family since 1903. And I got to talk to him and just about how farming has evolved, and and how CJ has learned from his grandpa and what it's like working with your grandpa. So he got real and gave some fun things to say about that. And But yeah, Joseph's mission is organic farming, and so he really talked about how that has evolved. And I think I have a clip in there, and we can check out what he has to say
Yeah.
about that.
Let's check it out.
Farming mean a whole lot. Mean a whole lot. You know, when I first started working on the farm, we had a horse and plow, and that's what we used. It changed a little bit, it's about the same way. Different equipment, from the horse and plow to tractors. And a lot of hand, we still do a lot of hand work, pulling weeds, planting, whatever. We grow them and not using the harsh chemical, use organic stuff, chicken manure, horse manure, and other stuff like that. Well, if you want to become organic, you got to study what organic stuff to buy, chemical, or fertilizer, or chemical to spray your stuff. So when I first started doing organic, they didn't have all the stuff on the market then. So we just use homemade stuff like Clorox or bleach or whatever to spray your stuff to keep the bugs down or whatever, and use manure for out the horse pen or whatever. And now they got everything processed now, so we use the processed stuff. Farming mean a whole lot, mean a whole lot. You know, when I first started working on the farm, we had a horse and plow.
Claudia, I want to add one thing. I actually did do a story with Joseph, and I was able to see his farm kind of during the strawberry season, but it's definitely cool that you went in depth just talking about this transition of seasons.
Yeah, no, he gave a lot of like great tips and, just talked to me about what they're transitioning and just what that looks like. So it was great to talk to him and just talking about how he does it in an organic way. And that was kind of the angle I took with him. His heritage is, doing it for so long and how he does it and he makes it organic. And that was a lot of things I didn't know about. I didn't know how to use chicken manure and horse manure to do all that stuff. So it was, who would have thought that?
No, yeah.
So that was really interesting to hear from him, and take that angle. And then my third guest was the Roots and Shoots Nursery on West Ashley, and I didn't even know this existed, but I just fell in love with this place. You guys have to go and visit it. It's just incredible. Dave Manger, he's the owner and operator over there, and I got to talk to him, and he was just a wealth of knowledge. He's a plant expert, and so Roots and Shoots, they sell native plants and like southern fruits that thrive in the low country. And he talks to us just about the different native plant species here in South Carolina in the low country. And I learned so much. I didn't even know all the different native plants that we had. And so many are beautiful and leafy and green. And he goes and talks about, transitioning, your garden beds that we have from summer to fall. And that was very informational. Then he gives us a tour. And so we get to see all the cool plants that they have there at the nursery, and their motto is to give your garden wings. And he just talks about the benefits of how owning native plants and planting native plants really helps wildlife thrive, and it gives your garden wings, and wildlife just flocks. So yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Did you learn what variables take to make the low country good for crops?
Yeah, so whenever I was talking to Side-Eye, he just gave me so much just random knowledge about that. And one of the things that he had to say was that the soil here, we have a very sandy soil, and that is what makes farming here in the Low Country so great. And that, and it drains really well. And one challenge that farmers faced this year was all the rain that we got. And so that's definitely kind of set them back a little bit. So because the water just going right through it, and it's just getting too much water. So yeah, that was interesting to learn as well.
And kind of, Claudia, what kind of plants are farmers harvesting for the fall season, would you say?
Yeah, so some plants that you can look forward to this fall are sweet potatoes, pumpkins, winter squash, kale, collards, things like that. And they actually have some produce that they're still planting until October 2nd, and that's things like cucumbers and green beans. So those are still going to be in season here for a little bit. So if you want to go get any of that, you most certainly can.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite fall vegetable or fall harvest item?
Yes, I do love veggies, and I think that my favorite fall produce is I would have to say the sweet potato, because they're so versatile. I mean, you can fry them, you can bake them, can. There's so many ways you can eat a sweet potato. So those are my favorite. But of the native plants that I learned that thrive in the fall because, they go through a big seasonal change. And what I learned from David Manger at Roots and Shoots is that fall is a really big time for our insects, getting ready for the winter season here in the Low Country. Like their plants are producing a lot of nectar. They're eating a lot of that nectar just to get ready for that big famine that happens in the winter. So two plants that natively grow here in the fall are a native hibiscus. Ooh. I know, it's very beautiful. You have to watch the special to see what it looks like. And then another one is a goldenrod, another really beautiful plant that if you watch the special and you stay till the end, you'll see some examples that David will show.
That's so cool. I didn't know that about hibiscus here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a hibiscus, like a Hawaiian hibiscus, or like the ones you would see in Hawaii, but it's a little bit more dainty, and they're pink and they're so cute. And something I learned too, so okra it's a flower before it turns into a veggie, and it's from the same. It's not the same family or species. It's a different variety. That's the word I was looking for. It's a different variety of hibiscus that is a hibiscus flower that turns into an okra veggie. So a lot of random knowledge too.
That's so crazy.
I'm curious to see what it looks like on your special.
Yeah, we just throw it all in there. So anything you really want to know about farming the Low Country and these people's stories, it's in there. So you got to tune in.
Yes. When can we watch that again?
You can watch it right after this. So anyone who's watching this, stay tuned, and it'll be at 2:30 and 7 tomorrow. And I think it's going to be showing again this weekend. So if you miss it, they'll have another opportunity to check it out. But just stay close to our website, and I'm sure we'll have more exact times and dates posted there soon. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I really just felt privileged to just tell these people's stories and get to know them and all the wonderful things that they're doing, because growing the local produce it's really nice to know where it comes from, and it was really, really special to learn who it came from as well.
For sure. Thank you for joining us, Claudia.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Stay with us. We're heading to a quick break, but we'll be right back.